Good morning. Today is Saturday, September 24th, 2011. I'm speaking with Mr. Swapan Gangopadyay. We are doing this interview in New York. Mr. Gangopadyay lives in Long Island and works in New York City. Mr. Gangopadyay, what's your desh?
Original desh, Borishal, currently Bangladesh.
Okay. Where in Borishal?
Bakalgram.
Bakalgram. And how far is it from any big city town? Do you remember?
From Borishal town is about 40 miles.
So how did you used to go there? 40 miles is a long distance in Borishal. Do you remember? Did you used to go by boat, go by?
So far as I never went
to Borishal.
No.
Okay, so you grew up. Okay. Now, how was your house like? Was it a big building, small building,
wooden
building?
It was a medium-sized building.
It's a brick building, or
it's a tin shed.
Tin shed
and brick siding.
Brick siding. Yeah, it's very common. Sometimes you have Dharma also. And how was it in your extended family? How many people used to live there?
No, actually, my parent and we had five brothers and sisters.
You lived there. And what did your parents do?
My father was a owner of few farmlands and some other business.
So basically they were your agriculturists,
right.
Your farm owners. And so did you have how was the house like? This is one building or many buildings like in the?
Basically the one building per living,
okay.
Residential. Another building little
on the side.
Other side was a big kitchen building.
Rannaghar.
And there's a big lawn in front, very big, and a pond on the other side.
One pond only?
One pond, big pond, huge pond.
Some ghats for women and ghats for men?
No, there's only one ghat.
One ghat.
And a huge backyard with a lot of trees,
okay.
Different kind.
Okay. And how many generations your family lived there, do you know?
Offhand, I don't remember, but I remember my father and grandfather.
And maybe many generations before also? Probably,
Probably.
Okay. Now, what's the name of your parents?
My father's name is Amulya Chandra Gangopadyay.
And mother?
My mother, Noniwala Devi.
Noniwala Devi. And and she was a housewife?
Right.
Okay. Now, before you told me you were young, did your brothers and sisters go to school there?
Yeah, my elder brother used to go to school there.
What name of the village again?
Bakalgram.
Bakalgram. Now, did he used to go to Bakalgram or there was nearby?
No, it's Bakalgram.
Bakalgram.
Primary and secondary school. Combined rather.
Now, was your village a mixed village or a Hindu village?
No, basically
Hindu village.
Majority.
Yeah. So, and how did you used to go to school? Walking, I suppose, or by boat?
Basically, I left Borishal very early age, most only at age of 5, so I didn't go to school there.
No, but your brothers and sisters?
My elder brother and elder sister, they went to school, I think in the 5th, 6th grade.
Okay, and then they left for India?
Left for India.
About around what time, what year?
Right, 1947, or a month or two earlier, before partition.
Why so?
We got the rumor, country is going to be divided.
Okay.
And my father anticipated that Hindus may not be, and that Borishal is going to be, within Pakistan, it was determined. And my father speculated that once it becomes Pakistan, it would be impossible, number one, to stay over there. Number two, there's a possibility of riot and everything.
Okay.
So we he was scared to
What
stay.
was his fear had anything to do with the 46 Noakhali pogrom?
Yeah, he knew that, and he anticipated same situation
There.
during partition.
Okay. So how did they come? I mean, did they leave or abandon the property or?
One night we were eating, and some people from the Muslim neighborhood came to us, came to my father, told that that night our village is going to be attacked.
Okay.
So leave the village as soon as possible.
Really?
So my father immediately took whatever we can carry, on our shoulder, a little clothing, few currency, at home, and we left our house right away.
And where did they go first?
Because
Borishal is far from Bengal border.
River was very close to our house.
Okay.
So my father took us to the river, took a boat, and we went to the rail station.
Oh. So, but then rail station must have been Khulna or farther.
I don't remember.
Okay, yes, because Borishal still doesn't have any train line. Now I'll come back to this. But your family then went to Calcutta or elsewhere?
No, my father took us to Dinajpur.
Balughat. Why Balughat?
My maternal uncle's home.
Oh, that fell into India. So you grew up in Balughat?
Not really. We stayed there for 6 months. Then, and me and my mother and brothers used to stay with my maternal uncle.
Okay.
My father left in a week, went to Calcutta, looking for a job, and ultimately in few months he got a job.
Okay.
And then he took us over there.
So what kind of job your father found? Do you know?
Actually, my father was part of members of the freedom struggle movement.
Okay.
When he was very young.
Okay.
I think.
Indian independence struggle.
Right.
Okay.
And with that connection, he found the job.
Okay. And where in Calcutta did they find a shelter?
My father rented a house. The name of the place is Chetla.
Chetla.
And within 24 Parganas. And he found a job with Bengal Government Press.
Okay.
And then, he took us over there.
Okay. And did you go to school in Chetla?
Yes. We studied our primary and secondary schooling in Chetla.
And then you went to engineering school, I understand?
And then from Chetla, my father bought a land in Behala. We moved to Behala with rental house initially. Okay. Then few years later, my father took the loan, refugee loan from the government, and built a small house. Okay. And he moved to that house.
Behala. Okay. Where in Behala? What part of Behala?
Behala, actually, name of the
Para
is Chaurasta.
Oh, I see. I know. Now, so you went to college there?
High school in Chaurasta, and then there's a college over there, Vivekananda College. And I went to the Vivekananda College.
And then you went
to
Engineering College. And then you went to Engineering College. Approximately what time you went into college there? So you must be a very good student to get into that college.
Yeah, I was very good student, top student in the school.
So?
I had very good grade. With that grade, I was able to take admission to Jadavpur University. Okay. In competitive, selection.
So you finished yours in Jadavpur University?
I finished my undergraduate degree in Jadavpur.
Approximately what time?
I graduated in the year 1966.
66. So from nothing now you have become an engineer, and then when did you come to the United States?
In the year 1969 we found out that US government was allowing visa
You said.
to doctors, engineers, scientists to come for the United States.
Okay.
I applied that. I got the visa in 1971 and then migrated to USA in 1971.
And since then you have been living here.
Yeah.
Now, going back to your parents' struggle.
We are, my mother from the childhood, my mother and father, my parent, used to tell us all the time that look, we had everything, now we have nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's property.
Yes.
But it is education, which is your real asset.
Yes.
Property is not the real asset. So be educated. That asset nobody can take out from you.
Yeah.
And my mother basically helped us. She used to wake up us from the bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then she used to sit down with us or study until 8 o'clock. Then we used to study ourselves. She used to make breakfast, lunch and everything. And we studied ourselves. And that's the way my elder brother went to engineering college. I went to engineering college.
Okay.
My younger brother went to accounting college.
Okay.
So we became
all of you became very professionals, very talented. Now, did anybody in your extended family stay back in Bangladesh?
Not really. After we came, we learned what my father anticipated. There's a huge attack, and to some extent, extended riot. A lot of people got killed.
In your village?
In our village.
Okay.
And that's the...
So you're safe. Do you know what happened to your house?
House was ransacked and stolen. Everything valuable taken out.
Okay.
The structure is basically still there in a dilapidated condition.
Did you go? Did you?
I never went there.
Anybody else?
My daughter went there. She was very much curious.
Okay.
Because we used to tell her the story. She was born here in the United States.
Okay.
But she learned about our past and everything. Then she planned to visit Bangladesh because she had a friend studying with her college over here.
Okay.
She's a Muslim.
Yeah.
She's from Bangladesh.
Yeah.
And my brother contacted her parent and then went to visit Bangladesh.
Okay.
And that her parent,
and then they went to the village also.
Our friend's parent, they took her to show everything.
Okay. So how did they? Do you know how at this time how did they go to your village from I don't know what's the Borishal or whatever other city nearby? Do you know how did they go?
Oh, they were basically in Dhaka. From there, they took lunch and traveled to Borishal.
And from Borishal town, how did they go to your village?
They have some relative who had cars over there, and they took the car.
So it can go by car by then apparently. Okay.
Car to some extent.
Yeah.
And then the rest is boat.
By boat. Oh, I see. So did they find any of your old neighbors?
Not really. So far as
but they could locate your house?
Yeah, she located in our house.
Okay.
Our temple is still there. But basically, population is not even, Hindu population not even 5%.
It was
before.
100% to 5%.
Yeah.
So it's very down. Did you get any compensation for your property? Anybody?
Not really.
And did you get any help from West Bengal or Indian government when you came? So you just stood by your bootstraps or no straps? I said because we didn't have. My parents also didn't have any straps, so to say. I mean, strapless. What was your daughter's feeling? Of course, her feeling was very different from yours.
We used to tell our daughter about the atrocities, problems, everything, what happened to partition. And when she went to Bangladesh, basically she was a guest of a well-to-do Muslim family.
Yeah.
So she was treated very nicely. So she didn't really realize, anything what happened.
What happened? I mean, now of course you gave the answer. I was going to ask you if they stayed there by force. Now you already answered that they could have perished. You could have perished, like many families have done so.
one incident I didn't tell. My one of our maternal uncles, eldest brother, used to live, Borishal, same neighborhood. That is very old.
In the Borishal
In
town?
the Borishal, not our village.
Your village.
They say that we are old people, nothing will happen to us, So husband and wife, they used to stay there. During these last atrocities in
2001?
No, before that.
1990, and there was 1992 or 71?
1992 most probably. 1992. There was again attack.
There was anti-Hindu program.
That was, I think, so far as I remember, in right before independence of Bangladesh. That movement.
Oh, I see. 70.
So Bangladeshi, the Pakistan military, they invaded the area. They went house to house to search for Hindus. And that family I was talking about, my maternal uncle's eldest brother, they found the old man and the wife who were there. And in front of the old wife, they took a big knife and chopped his head.
Oh my gosh.
And threw it on the lap of my maternal uncle's wife's lap. And said, that's yours. And left.
Oh my gosh. Did she survive this atrocity?
She then, she was very old. She was not harmed. Then she left and came to India.
Oh my gosh. Can you describe a little bit of your struggle of your father to settle?
It was, he didn't have a very well-earned job, very meager salary. So we had to struggle a lot. I saw my mother sometimes crying that we had everything. We had servant, maid, farms, and practically she didn't have to do anything. Now is for her, even to buy a few clothes for us, for him, for her, for my father, and so tough and hard time. And at that time, food was also very scarce, costly. Compared to the compared to the economic condition at that time. So I saw her time to time shedding tears.
Yeah. Okay. It was tough, but of course she's very proud that she produced in the end such a. Now, can you tell me why in Bangladesh, Muslim majority Bangladesh, minority Hindus couldn't stay, but why in West Bengal, Hindu majority West Bengal, Muslims and non-Hindus could stay?
It is basically the policy of the government. In Bangladesh, the government was also fundamentally government, but in India, both state government and the federal government, they are supportive of coexistence.
Okay.
So
it's only the government, there is no role of the society?
Society role is Hindu, basically they are peace loving, and moreover if there is one or two incident happened, minor incident, government took care of it took very stern measures from that.
But Islam, it's said it's a religion of peace.
No, it's a religion of fundamentalism. Even if you read Quran, I read it. In one place, it says very clearly, you can kill non-believers, you can go to heaven. If you kill. So it is said in their book. Yeah. It is in Quran. Yeah. If the religious book teaches it, they will do it. There is basically a fundamentalist religion.
And so in your mind, Hinduism is not?
No, Hinduism is not.
I see. Now, do you know if anybody benefited because of this partition? West Bengal, East Bengal, Hindus, Muslims?
Only the Muslim.
In West Bengal also? Or in
both,
Bangladesh?
both West Bengal and Bangladesh.
Muslims benefited. And what about Hindus?
Hindus benefited indirectly, not directly, indirectly, that there is a lot of economic pressure on Hindus, specifically the refugees. So their only choice was education. So from the refugee community, a vast majority of the refugees became educated, highly educated, professional, and that is the indirect.
Yeah. But of course,
help.
But on the other hand, some people we don't see, one can argue. Many people perished. At one time in the 50s and 60s, they used to say the brothels of Calcutta were full of Bangals. Yes. That means all the Bengal girls who couldn't survive, families, they went to prostitution. This was said.
Yes.
We have heard this.
Yes. Not only that,
people were killed.
Millions of Hindus were killed in Bangladesh.
Or, under the slums and on the Karan and other places they fled. But also, your family probably, even if they lived in Bangladesh, they probably would have gone for higher education, because in Bangladesh Hindus had taken to higher education a lot, even for, most of the colleges were established by Hindus. That has set the tone, one can argue. Were you ever discriminated in India as a refugee?
Not really.
Do you want to visit your homeland?
There is no urge to visit it, but it happens, it's fine, because even it is a homeland, it is not really a homeland what it means. Right now I'm a resident of New York. If I want to visit in homeland, my first thing in mind is West Bengal and Calcutta and Behala.
And Balurghat too?
Balurghat, not really, because my maternal uncles, they moved to, their portion also became part of Pakistan.
Oh, I see. They had to flee. That part of Balurghat, because Balurghat is in border.
Yes.
So
their
unfortunately.
Part is Bangladesh.
Oh, I see.
So they had to move.
No. Do you think Hindus and Muslims can live together?
Not in Bangladesh, where the government and the people both are fundamentalist. But in India, they can, provided the area is not majority in Muslim. In area where majority is Muslim, even in West Bengal, there is atrocity going on. And
even in India?
Even in India. Unfortunately, at least previous communist government, they were blind on it. They never took any action on it.
Yeah. So
what will happen in future, I don't know.
Okay.
But if it is a Muslim majority area, it will be difficult for even Hindus to stay over there peacefully.
Okay. One more. How large was your village? You remember? Any wild idea? 500 people, 50 people, 1,000 people? Any wild guess? Parents? Thousands. Okay. So Bangladesh is a very high density country, so 1,000 is not a big number, but here it is. I'm almost to the end. Is there anything else that I didn't ask you want to say? Something? Is there anything that comes to your mind?
We normally think that right now Bangladesh is peaceful, which I don't believe. Few years ago, my younger brother's in-laws house in Barishal, it's a big house, 2 two-story building.
Mm.
They used to live, their parents used to live there. One day, their neighbor's son, who is grown up from childhood with them to age of 20, 21, in middle of the night, he went to the house with knives with his friends, threatened to kill them unless they leave the house same day before.
Oh my gosh, this happens just in 2000s?
Plus minus 2000.
Okay,
Let's
so
see,
maybe
1999, 2000, around
Yeah.
that time.
so it's very recent.
Very recent. And they left the house before dusk, and that neighbor occupied the house.
Oh my gosh. Where are they now?
Right now, very recently, 2-3 years ago, both parents, the father-in-law passed away about 7-8 years ago, and mother-in-law passed away last year. Not last year, few months ago.
In Bangladesh or in West Bengal?
In Behala.
Oh, Behala. So they became penniless overnight like that, even in recent times?
My brother, they were in Behala, so they helped.
They took them in.
They took them in.
Oh, I see. All right. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad they survived. But of course, this is not the image of a tolerant Bengali Bangladeshi society we think of. Thank
West
you.
Bengal is no longer tolerance, doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Basically, if they get opportunity, the fundamentalism is in their blood,
Okay.
in the Muslim blood. That's my thinking.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.